Namaskar friends. Today we will talk about the two states of being and how the human or any biological life is embodiment of those two states of being and how we have to strike a balance between those two states of being to attain perfection in this biological life. So the two states that the Brahman has are one of the witnesser, which is perfect impartial awareness of observation, what I call Shiva Chitta, and the second state is of enactment or identification with the extrinsic to attain enjoyment. So you can think about joy or happiness as running along a spectrum. The lowest immediate form of joy that can be attained is called pleasure through sensual gratification. This joy cannot wait. It is impatient. And that is why you will see the firefly running into the fire or acts of sex which creates sudden dopaminergic surge and things which can lead to some sort of destruction, damage in the short term, but because we have been used and conditioned to develop that surge of pleasure because of all the stressors around us, we will be coming back to it as compulsions, obsessions. So that is the lowest but immediate form of happiness that can be gotten. I call it pleasure. Then there is something which is more long term. You can call it things such as ambition or passion, in which you are relentlessly working to attain your goal. More so in the realm of Manipura, whereas pleasure is mostly in the realm of Swadhisthana or the sacral plexus. So that is more passion, ambition, and then of course it creates this constant ongoing feelings of joy as you are attaining those goals. And then there is this most pure, highest version of joy that we call bliss. That is happiness by introspection. So joy or happiness can be pleasure, passion, or it can be bliss. And you can think of it as Tamasic pleasures, Rajasic passions, and Satvic bliss. And sometimes it can be Gunatit or beyond the three gunas, bliss. So Shiva Chitta, the state of being which is perfect impartial observation of things within and without, intrinsic and external, is the pure contemplative power of witnessing. And then you can utilize an element of buddhi if you think about it as infusing from the world of prana. Otherwise, Shiva, the witnesser, does not even need buddhi. But if there is some sort of identification, then he has to employ buddhi to break that identification, to understand that there is a power of contemplation or rumination. Otherwise, awareness or meditation is intrinsic and spontaneous to Shiva Chitta. The second state of being is that of enactment, doership, enjoyment, if you will. And then again, this is anything that is not bliss. So you can think of it as Tamasic pleasures or Rajasic Manipuric passions that you are chasing. But in this world, when we are in a world, there is of course desires. And this is what arises in MahaPrana or the undifferentiated cosmic prana. Because if you remember, Brahman is composed of Shiva Chitta and Mahaprana, the undifferentiated potentiality, pulsatility, rhythmicity that has to unfold to create this manifest world in which everything is throbbing, cyclical, pulsating. That is what pran or life means, throbbing. So everything is prana, whether they are rivers flowing, the wind blowing, the wind erosion that's happening, the oceans, everything is infused with prana, not just biological life, things which move and reproduce, which is a lame definition of biological life or prana. So prana is going to attain what it has desired, and these desires are arising in the human body, if you think about it, not in the mind but in the heart. We have talked about it. Desires are there for attainment of certain things which have been witnessed in extrospection. Because if the witnessing was done in introspection, there is nothing to be desired, there is no doubts. Where there is desire, there are doubts. Desires and doubts both arise in the heart. Vidyate hridaya gandhis chindante sarv sanshaya chiyansi chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. When your eyes are able to witness the eventual truth, then your all doubts are shattered. Brihadaranya Upanishad says. Even tasmat gyan sambhutam hisan gyasnat mana chitvanam sanchayam yogam atishtotisht bharata. As 442, the last slok of chapter 4 says, once agyan has been dispelled and agyan is lying in the heart, hristham gyan sinatmana. Hrismanam agyan sinatmana means hritastham, situated in the heart. Agyan is ignorance. So when you are having the knowledge, cut asunder the doubts with the fire of knowledge or the sword of knowledge. And knowledge is buddhi, that is the highest distilled version of prana, that is able to impart you Shiva Chitta quality of neutral extrospection, awareness, without creating any ego identification of what is unfolding around you. So my friends, in biological life, we are a combination of Shiva Chitta and Mahaprana. The Shiva Chitta part comes through DhyanYog, contemplative meditation that I have talked to you in the Brahma Muhurat. Because contemplation will liquidate the vasanas, will liquidate the desires. Lesser the desires, lesser the doubts, lesser the desires, lesser you have to come back to fulfill those desires. Because that desire is only going to get you the lower two forms of happiness, which is Tamasic pleasures and Rajasic passions. It's not going to get you Satvic bliss, which is only happened through introspection. Anytime you have a desire, there is an extrospection quality attributed to it, which is responsible for us coming back and fulfilling it. And when we are interacting with other individuals, there's a network effect. There is more individuals that we are clinging to. They might have certain expectations, we might have certain hopes, and then the vicious cycle starts of feeding back into each other. And this is why you might have to come back first time because of your desires, and second time, third time, fourth time because of your karma bandhans, rin anubandhan, the debt of the desires and the debt of the unfolding, unfinished business or karma that you have unfolded while you have acted out on your desires. So, my friends, we have to maintain this balance between the intrinsic awareness, which is creating impartial witnessing of Shiva Chitta, bliss by introspection, and the Mahaprana potentiality, which is there to fulfill our desires so that we can hit all the goals, fulfill our purpose of being here, and then we will be more peaceful. Because once you are desireless, then you become peaceful. When you have become peaceful for long durations of time through bliss by introspection, you have become blissful. That triad has to be finished. As long as you are not desireless, you will keep coming back. As long as you are interacting with the environment around you with the help of the gunas, there will be more springing of new desires, and those desires will have to be fulfilled, because we are all portions of Brahman as Shiva Chitta. So whatever we want, we will attain. It's only a matter of when and how many lives have to be lived. And if you understand there's a higher component of Janm Mrityu Jara Vyadhi that has bogged you down, which is birth, death, disease and old age, all the suffering spectrum that comes with prana, potentiality, rhythmicity, cyclicity, then you understand that it is not worth chasing new desires, but better to just extinguish the existing desires by living those lives, doing the right thing that you think is right in the realm of buddhi. And once those have been exhausted, there is nothing new to be done. There is no need for incarnation. All the activities that you are doing are being done in the realm of NishkaamKarma. So once a person is situated in yoga, whether it is contemplative DhyanYog of meditation, the selfless service of NishkaamYog, or the devotional surrender of BhaktiYog, whether you call it the Satvic Dhyan, the Rajasic Karma and the Tamasic devotion, all these three gunas are able to get you to the highest, best version of yourself, which is the unadulterated, pure Shiva Chitta, bliss by introspection, awareness that is generating knowledge, and that knowledge has only come in this world as buddhi or delineating intellect, ability to distinguish between right and wrong, ability to pursue nishkam karma, and that will help us cleanse of all the impurities which are basically in the form of desires and sensual lingerings, which are creating obsessions, compulsions, and then this compulsive patterned reactivity, the predictable Tamasic behaviors, all the obsessions, compulsions that you can think about, such as gaming, gambling, smoking, alcohol, drinking, drugs, sex, all those things are along that spectrum, because all of them are leading the senses to attach to an object of sensual gratification, the bond that is created releasing the neurotransmitter dopamine, the sudden surge of pleasure, the lowest form of happiness that is there, and then coming back to it time and again because of the stress of Janm Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, making you go for the quick pleasures. That is the trap of the Priya or the instant gratification that is generated by the Swadhisthana chakra in the realm of Tamasic guna, in the realm of Indriya, attaching to the Indriyartheshu and making the prana come back again and again into lives, interacting other individuals and creating more lives. So very important not to become only prana, but understand ourselves as Chitta, which is the light and gunatit version in its most pure form that is able to create bliss by introspection. So as long as you are in prana, you have to prevent yourself from sinking further down into the prana. Enjoy and respect the prana potentiality, but understand that your original version is Shiva Chitta, which is the bliss by introspection, awareness, and contemplative meditation, which is where we have to eventually go. It can be through any of the three paths, as I said, but it's important to strike the balance so that we are able to understand who we are and why we are here. So my friends, the two states of being, the witnesser, which is Shiva Chitta, and the doer or the manifester, which is the prana. Those powers are like the nucleus, which is the Shiva Chitta, and the rotating electron orbits that are the prana. One without the other does not exist. Extrinsic cannot exist without the intrinsic, because the comparative realm has always have to have two duality polarities, and that is how the Brahman operates from the unmanifest to the manifest. Jai Shri Ram.